Man. Yeah, I was seeing. I wonder if these comments will get on the screen here. See if that works, Johnson. One of the features of the StreamYard, and you know they never got back to me about the bad streaming I had the other day. They didn't even respond, Johnson. They act like nothing happened. They act like nothing went on. Send me back some boilerplate stuff like, maybe you should drop down to 720p. I don't pay for 720p. I pay for 1080p. And my connection was solid. See, man. See what I'm saying, man? See what I'm saying? So look, if you're new to the show, family, the Tim Black Show is a focus on U.S. politics, breaking news, and Black culture. That's what we do on this channel. I got the amazing support of a lot of people across the internet. That group of people is known as the Tim Black VIPs or the Tim Black Wolfpack. If you want to feel real froggy, you can call it Team Black. You know what I'm saying? If you're bold like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. My people, man. I got my coffee. I got my Wolfpack. And I got some time. I'm gonna make some time tonight, man. How y'all feeling out there? How y'all doing? Jasmine Brahman, AT, the villain. Black Airman's in the house. Black Airman. Airman. Okay, I'll take that. What up? Vera's in the building. Vera Sanders is in the building. Thank you. Buck, what's up, Buck, man? What's going on, man? Buck being as bad as me up in this joint. Yo, what's up? Is that Val? Nah, I'm just getting started, Val. You on time, sister? You in the building. Dana Mitchell's in the house with a happy birthday to the brother. What's up, man, Dana Mitchell? She has graced me with her support. And her support is amazing, man. Thank you, Dana Mitchell, for supporting the Tim Black Show, man. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for the birthday wishes. They were spent online doing the show. But I chose to do that, though. Because now that I done reduced my schedule, you know what I'm saying? I reduced my schedule, too. So you know we do Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now. So we do 4 days a week instead of 5. And believe me, I still work on that Thursday. I had to pick one of the days, had to dip. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and let Thursday dip. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let the Thursday dip. But I want to thank y'all, Tim Black's Wolfpack. Remember, if you want my content delivered to your doorstep, basically, your virtual doorstep, everything I put out, and I put out a lot of content, fam. Long form content, short form content, ebooks. And you can join us on patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, or join us at jointimblack.com. That's where you become a member of the Tim Black VIP. And like I put out ebooks, you get first access to my ebooks. My current ebook is the 10 Ways Immigration Impacts Black Americans. So that one's out right now. And if you're a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack, you can still get that. You're getting the first crack at it. It's a resource for when you're having conversations and you want to be able to voice your opinion and have some data to back it up. Because for some reason, America don't like admitting that immigration hurts certain people in America. When it's only simple math. I mean, even if you want to believe that having, more people is great for the economy, you got to admit, if we one big happy family, the more kids you got, the more kids you got to feed. The more kids need services and they need attending to. It's only natural a family of 5 costs a lot more than a family of 2. Or a family of 3 costs a lot less than a family of 10. You ever hear somebody talk about they had a family of 10? Shannon Sharp, I think he had like 8 people or 9 people in this family. It's some crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? Or Scarface, the one and only Brad from Scarface, man, he just did an amazing podcast, man, with Shannon Sharp, man. Club Shay Shay. Oh, man. Man, that joint was so good. I didn't even watch the whole thing yet. I'm like savoring that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's that good. Shannon Sharp gonna be all right. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Shannon Sharp gonna be all right. Because he's doing innovative, cutting edge. I've never seen a show done like this, fam, where an artist doesn't just do their music. Face is amazing artist anyway, right? Real talk, top 5 for me. But he explains the songs, like what was going on, where he recorded the song. So Shannon Sharp would be like, Diary of a Dead Man. And Face explained where that came from, why he did it, what was going on in his head at the time. Smile, same thing. Goes through, tells you what was happening. And it's just iconic, man. Look, give it up for that. I don't want to spend all day on that, but I just got to tell you, of course, there's no sponsorships involved in anything I recommend. If it is, I tell you. Fam, Sharp gonna be okay. And this conversation he had with Brad was amazing. Shout out to the one and only Scarface Face Mob, y'all. Give it up for Brad. See, that's just culture stuff right there. That's just culture stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I could keep going, man. That was a dope, amazing. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I don't want to make. I got so much to get to tonight. I don't want to stay there too much longer. But just so big up to that, man. Big time. That brother been through some adversity, man, and he's still here, man. Scarface, man. Dang. All right. Now, Tim Black's Wolfpack is in the house. I got my people in the building. They in the house. Thank you for being here. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack starting on only $5 a month. That's right, only $5 a month, man. And everything delivered to you. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, man. I'm on my 3rd ebook. Next week, I'm gonna come up with a different ebook because I'm gonna give people a steady dose. See, I don't just do content. I don't just come up here and talk. I do this, I do clips, I do edits, I do consulting, I do ebooks, I'm a writer. Like, I do a lot. I don't just do this. Come up here and drop Jasmine Crockett's name and pick up money and go sit down. That ain't what I do. People like to put you in a box and act as if that's all you do, but everybody different, man. Different people got different talents. You know, I'm a performer as well. Like, I'm an entertainer, man. I've been a public speaker since I was like 10. So, I'm not knocking nobody. I'm just letting, if I don't tell you, nobody else gonna tell you. Ain't nobody else gonna say like Tim Black got expertise. Tim Black did this, Tim. Ain't nobody gonna tell you, so I gotta tell you. It ain't bragging if I'm being honest. All right, look, check it out. I got a lot to get to tonight, man. I want to get us to the whole thing, man, because it's important. But I got to let you know this, and it's only fair, right? I'm a Democratic Party hater. I try not to be too over the top with it, but I got to call it what it is because Black America been voting for the Democrats 90% of the time, every election. Sometimes 95% of the time. You understand what I'm saying? And if we've been voting for the same people 95% of the time, and our money still ain't right, they want everybody to think it's Trump. Man, we still ain't had our money right under Obama. We ain't have our money right under Biden. Y'all know Trump only been in politics for 10 years, right? Y'all do understand this, right? So they making everything about Trump, but it was messed up under Biden. It was messed up under Obama. It was messed up under Clinton. It was messed up under, keep going. So we've been voting Democrat for 60 years. Whenever I complain about what's going on with black people and why black people are still sitting so far behind, it'll be some Democrats stand up. What you gonna do, be a Republican? Nah, I want to be I'm an independent, and I want policies that help my community. Same thing everybody else here should want. They should want policies that help their community. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with it. They try to gaslight with the help of people like Roland Martin. Make it seem like when they lose elections, it's the black people. If only the black people would have did more. So yeah, I got a lot of problems with Democrats, man. We vote for them 90% of the time, more than any other. Man, do you realize how happy Democrats would be if Latinos voted for them the way we vote for them? Do you realize how much jumping for joy the Democrats would be if white women voted for them the way black women vote? Hell, the way black men vote for them. But whenever there's a problem, whenever they lose the election, who they be looking at? Now, as a thinking person, as a person that's been doing this for 13, 14 years, focus on politics for the last 10 years straight. Look at my catalog, over 5,000 videos just on this channel. This ain't even my only channel, dog. Well, how could I not? How could I not be a Democratic Party hater? Unless I'm a paid shield. I mean, how could I not be? My people getting the shaft. My people getting robbed. They get set up, being hustled by black faces in high places. So I just want to be honest with y'all, because I don't want nobody coming here new and being like, damn, man, he don't be calling Trump a bunch of names. And also don't be like, praise Trump, pray. I don't be doing that either. But see, they so used to when they see a black man, they so used to seeing a black man call Trump every name in the book and then kissing Democratic Party ass, they don't even know how to operate. They be losing their minds. Because they so used to a brother kissing ass. They used to a brother doing a Hakeem Jeffries. Well, first of all, we must understand that we are in a situation that is drawn by the Republicans and the Democrats. Therefore, we must find a way to put our noses further up Nancy Pelosi's butt crack. If we are to ascend to a different place in time, well, we can then kiss Joe Biden's ass too. Therefore, leading us to where we all start sounding like Cory Booker. Come on. I don't know if it's Cory Booker or if it's Tim Scott. They're so close. They're simpatico. All right. So I just want to be up front and honest with you. I don't want you to feel like you were misled. Know what the deal is. And I think it's only fair, man. Let you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, shouldn't CNN have to do that? Shouldn't CNN have to tell you what kind of politics they actually support? Yeah, man. Abby Phillips should just come out on this show and be like, look, well, I'm a hack, and I'll do whatever the Democrats want me to say or do. I'm speaking. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it in a way. Scott, stop winning. Scott, stop scoring points. Please, Scott, stop making points. Stop making sense to regular people. Scott, let Lathan lie. Let him grovel, let him lie. Scott, stop. Let Bomani get upset and lose his mind. Let him. Let Boykin have a meltdown. Let him have his meltdown. Leave him alone. He's my friend. They should have to come out and tell you. Rachel Maddow should have to come out to you and just be like, look, I am also a hack. That's right. I lie about everything. I'm a big fat liar. I'm a big fat Democratic fat liar. That's what I am. Don't let the LGBTQ fool you. I'm also a LIAR. Yeah, been doing it for years. Sold out a long time ago. They should have to tell you where they're coming from is all I'm saying. If I could be upfront about where I'm coming from, why the hell can't they? That's my point. Like Roland Martin, he should have to come out and say, bleep, 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 bleep. Nah. Get my iPad and put some naked man on it, please. Get my iPad. Simple Simons. Give me some more money, Kamala. Shouldn't Roland have to come out and be honest? Tell you where he stands. Dr. Carr should have to come out and be like, my face smells like Roland's butt. My face smells like Roland's butt. It smells just like his butt cheeks. That's exactly what it smells like. He should have to tell you that. I'm wrong, man. Hey, man, it's Friday, man. I'm saying, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to be honest, man. We got to be honest. Can we be real? It's a good time to be real, isn't it? It's always a good time to be real. Shouldn't Bakari have to come out and just be like, I'm a hack. That's right, I'm a hack. I'm a sucker for AIPAC money. I'm an AIPAC talking piece. I'm a puppet.
What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
Him and Charlemagne should have to come out and tell you that. All right, man. All right. I know you want more. You're like, keep going, Tim. All right, so look, man, I'm going to get the show started here. Once again, thank you for becoming members of the Tim Black Wolfpack, right? We all go after this show if you enjoy the content. Everybody going to join, right? You're going to get our numbers up on Patreon, right? You're going to become a member of the VIP club and get all this extra bonus content, right? Right? All right, looking forward to it. And with that, let's get going, y'all. Yeah, man. My people. I don't even know what that is there. What is that? No idea what that is. Man, everybody had a good week? Y'all ready for the weekend? Come on, man. Say you're ready for the weekend. I don't know what this is. What did I grab here? Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay. All right. I got to get ready, Johnson. I got to get ready. This ain't going to be easy. All right, folks. Y'all ready? Everybody ready? We lined up. We good to go? Be it looking like Grady. Looking like Grady from Good Time. Grady from Fred Sanford. Oh, Fred! Watching little television. You up here at the Grady joint. I ain't trying to look like the Grady joint. All right, here we go, Johnson. You'll see why I'm being hesitant. This never gets easier, okay? But I gotta do it.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
We start tonight's show praising, in memory, taking a moment for a tribute to someone who I felt like a sister. Felt like was my sister, you know? The one and only Danielle Spencer. Let me get the comments off the screen. I got people promoting shit. Sorry, guys. Tonight's show, I like to start it off by promoting we start tonight's show off with a tribute to the one and only iconic Danielle Spencer, who is, to a lot of us, was like our little sister that we grew up with. I had an actual sister, but she reminded me a lot of my little sister. But she actually is my big sister. Let's talk about her. Today, we celebrate the life and legacy of Danielle Spencer, who brought joy and laughter to millions as the quick-witted, sassy little sister Dee Thomas on the beloved 1970s sitcom What's Happening. Born in Trenton, New Jersey, Danielle began her acting career at just 8 years old, but it was her iconic portrayal of Dee that made her a household name. With her razor-sharp comedic timing and memorable catchphrases, she stole every scene and became America's favorite little sister. I'm gonna tell mama became more than just a line. It became a cultural phenomenon that defined a generation's childhood memories. But Danielle was so much more than her famous character. After her acting career, she pursued After her acting career, she pursued her passion. Her passion for healing, earning a doctorate in veterinary medicine and dedicating her life to caring for animals. She embodied compassion, intelligence, and resilience through her entire career. Even while battling cancer with extraordinary courage, Danielle remained a positive and inspiring to all who knew her. Her co-star, Haywood Nelson, called her their brilliant, loving, positive, pragmatic warrior and cancer heroine. Rest in peace, Dr. D. Your laughter, your spirit, and your legacy will live on forever. I didn't know she was right here in Virginia. Right here in Virginia is where she practiced, where she helped animals. She will greatly be missed. But she also will be remembered for as long as people have access to her content, which will be many, many, many years, I imagine. She was amazing. She lit the screen up, man. And in celebration of who she was and what she gave us, the gift of herself, let's check out this clip. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to run the clip because she is that good.
Is Mama home?
Just a minute, Robin. What is the matter with you coming in this house yelling, is Mama home? Can't you see I'm on the telephone? Listen, when you walk into a house and you see a person on their telephone, you don't come in shouting, is Mama home? You wait until a person is finished talking to you on the telephone, and then you say very nicely, is Mama home? Robin, my brother just came in. I have to teach him the new manners. Why didn't you comb her hair before she came?
He is not a she. He is a he.
Well, she looks like a she to me.
Are you all together?
Are you?
Wow, man, gone too soon, man, gone too soon. Danielle Spencer will always be remembered for her role, but I'm sure the role she played most was the role that she played to her family and friends, and I'm sure she got an Oscar for that one. Rest in peace to the one and only Danielle Spencer, y'all. Give it up for her. Man. Told y'all, man, I had to get the guts up to do that the right way, man. You know, I lost. I mean, I feel, see, look at that. I lost like I knew her, you know? And that's something. Feel like I knew her. She was like 12 or 13 or something when she did that. Was she 10 or something? I don't even know. Same thing with, look, I'm about to call him Theo, Malcolm, Jamal Warner. I feel the same way. It's like, felt like we knew these people, man. Damn, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough month, man. It's been tough. It's been tough. We all on borrowed time, but some people spent their time the right way, man. Danielle Spencer and Malcolm Jamal Warner, man. Amazing. Amazing people, man. Fantastic. All right. Let's keep the party going, Johnson, because if I stay there, we're going to have a sad night. And we can't have no sad night. Let's not do that. I don't think that's the way she would want her legacy to play out. Let's see if we can let's see if we can get to something a little different here. Where we at here, Johnson? Let me put it back on the screen. It's easier for me to move it up. And that's Haywood. That's Haywood. Raj, Dwayne. Hey. hey. All right, no, but before we go, Johnson, for my real heads, who can do the Raj? Anybody? Come on. Everybody can do the rerun, but the Raj, man. All right, man. Good times, man. And Shirley was it too, man. Shirley was it too. All right, let's go. All right. Next story, Tim. It's Friday, but you know.
On deck with Tim Black.
Some of the hate that you get, along with some of the hate that Angel Reese gets, which has been just amplifying itself and amping up lately. When you look at the similarities between you and Angel Reese, why is it, do you believe, both of you receive so much hate and so much public criticism?
You know, I don't know Angel Reese personally. You know, we have a mutual friend in that shack. You know, but honestly, I think it's just full-blown racism, what she deals with. You know, and I think the whole finger thing with Caitlin Clark just kind of made people jump on this bandwagon of let's hate Angel Reese for the rest of our lives. And with social media, it gives them the freedom to do that. You know, and she's still just herself. You know, she's winning. And people hate to see you win, and they want to throw you off. Same thing with me. I've been winning, I feel like, my entire life. You know, from the age of 15, Junior Olympics at 17, World Championships, Continentals, Pan Ams, winning all this stuff, Olympics. And I think that people, one, I have to say, I'm dark skinned, so it's hate that come with that anyway. People think that I don't realize it, but I seen the same hate that I get. I seen Serena Williams get the same hate growing up on social media, doing her ESPN body issue, body perfect, got a nice butt, got a nice shape, muscles and shape, and I saw a comment saying that, oh, she looks like a man, you know, her butt's too big, it's not real, why is she built like that, calling her monkeys, gorillas, all type of stuff. And I go through the same thing. And I knew that I feel like that's what comes with when you're very successful. You are yourself. You don't let people change you. I think that's where like the hate comes from. And then you're outspoken and you're not shy about your greatness. People want me to they want me to let y'all and everybody else tell me how great I am. And me just sit back and be like, okay, yeah, all right. Now, until you say it don't mean nothing. Like whatever I do, I shouldn't big myself up. I should let y'all do it. And I just have to be honest. Had I not ever said that I was the greatest woman of all time, they would have never gave me that recognition, no matter how great I fight.
Hold up. All right, so for anybody who doesn't know, that's Clarissa Maria Shields. She's from Flint, Michigan. Flint, stand up. She's only 30 years old, and she has accomplished an amazing amount in her professional boxing and former mixed martial artist career. We're talking about she held 18 major world championships spanning 5 weight classes, including the undisputed female light middleweight title in 2021, the undisputed female middleweight title twice between 2019 and 2024, the World Boxing Council and the International Boxing Federation IBF female super middleweight title 2017 and 2018, the World Boxing Organization female light heavyweight title 2024 to 2025, and the undisputed female heavyweight title since February 2025. She holds the record for becoming a 2, 3, 4, and 5 division world champion in the fewest professional fights. You can't take that from her. She's ranked the world's best active female light heavyweight by Boxing Rec, as well as the best active female boxer, pound by pound, by ESPN in the ring. Last thing, because she said people don't be giving her props. Shields is the only boxer in history, female or male, to hold all 4 major titles in boxing, WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO in 3 weight classes. She also the third female boxer in history to become champion in 5 different divisions. Man, this woman is amazing. She's a destroyer. She's fantastic, man. She's at the epitome of boxing. And when they criticize her, what are they calling her? Monkey, ape, gorilla. We live in a country where that's what they'll call, we live in a country where that's what they call black women, right? And a person can still say and go viral as a white man who's actually Mexican, 40%, whatever he said, 40, 30% Mexican, I ain't gonna say his name, who will say, we don't have a problem with black people because they're black, it's the way they act. It's the way they behave. You know how Clarissa Shields behaves? Like a champion. At the top of her sport, I just read off how she behaves. They don't care about the greatness, the success. They'll find something, and then they'll make personal, color-related hate and smears and slurs. And then when and they know it's happening, but they'll still go viral within their own community and within the majority white community. It go viral, man. And with some black people co-signing it. It's not just all it's not just all a bunch of bigoted white folks. There are a lot of black so-called conservatives right there going, they right. They are right, you know. They got a point. We do act wrong. It is something wrong with us. Well, look, I give it up for Clarissa Shields. I just wanna be able to shine a little light on what she's talking about here. I also noticed that when she started off talking, she was talking about how other women like with Serena, like Serena and Venus, how they were treated. right? She wasn't talking about herself. She was talking about Angel Reese. That's what she was talking about, Angel Reese. She wasn't, she wasn't making it about herself, but then when she talked about colorism, so I want to open it up to people on the floor, man. I want to know what you think. Now we know in the black community, we've had an issue with it. All countries, it's not just America, man. This colorism thing, but light-skinned people and dark-skinned people get treated differently, it's across the globe, man. It's this way in Latin American countries, though they try to tell you it's not. We got liberals, Democratic liberals, try to tell us we got a black and brown coalition. Yeah, but in their countries and within their own households, they're taught not to deal with black Americans. And they're raised to despise the darker you are, the less of a human you are, the less respect you get, the less prized you are. And all you gotta do is turn on Telemundo. You'll see what I'm talking about because you won't see dark-skinned Latino people on Telemundo. Do you know if you went to many countries in Latin America, you'll see people my complexion? You wouldn't know that if you looked at Menudo or Telemundo. You wouldn't know that. You think everybody look like Jennifer Lopez. You think everybody look like, I don't know, John Leguizamo. You think everybody was that complexion. Nah, they got people my complexion and darker in those Latin American countries, in Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico and Dominican. In the Dominican Republic and other places. But they work the back of the house. You don't get to see them. What's that word for they use in Mexico? About whitening the race? They got a term for it. They're raised to try to marry people whiter, lighter, or white to improve the race by making the family more white. And then they got the nerve to when things get bad, where they're getting treated a percentage of how black Americans getting treated. Remember, not all people, not all Latin Americans or not all Hispanics or Latinos are being deported. Just people that don't have their paperwork, just people that aren't citizens. And still, only a very small percentage of those people are being deported. I mean, we just 10 million people just came across, 10 to 20 million people came across the border in the last 3.5 years. Last time I checked, I think Trump had deported, 100,000 maybe? Oh no! I'm just saying, it's not like, they're going back to their country, right? But my point is, besides that, my point is when people are saying that we need to be supportive of them, they leave out the Democrats and Republicans, anybody. Most of America leaves out the fact that many of them are very racist and they look down on black Americans. They look down on dark-skinned people in general. So I think Clarissa Shields has a point. I think it's in the fabric of this country. I think people are infected with it. It's not just an American phenomenon. It's a phenomenon that goes on across the globe. That's what it is. I was watching a documentary about Asian countries in Asia. And I think it's the Thai people. And someone was saying, you need to move to Thailand, because in Thailand, there's people dark as black Americans, and they relate to black Americans because they are the dark skin of Asian people. And they know what it's like being mistreated, and you'll fit right in. But people don't talk about it much. But yeah, it also exists. This hierarchy of color exists in Asian countries as well as Latin countries, as well as Eastern European countries. Yeah. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. They call Clarissa Shields. She's an amazing athlete. When I hear that young woman talk like that, and I can hear the pain in her voice, it bothers me. And what bothers me most is that there are people that get to make a living and get notoriety. It's like a double slap in the face, denying reality for us. Denying it. And it's like a given it's like a secret that we all know they're bullshitting. They know, like, these people know when I'm talking about this, they know I'm right. But they can never let on that I'm right because it's like a secret thing where they know they full of shit. They know what's going on. They know how their parents talk. They know the jokes they tell each other. They know what they said that time you went to lunch with them, Bob. Daytwan, they know what they said about you when you got out the car, Daytwan. They know what they said about you when they were making their lunch date plans. Yeah, Gloria, they was talking about you, sis. Never put your nose too far up their ass. Okay? They were talking about you just before you showed up. And it wasn't, oh, wow, look at the shoes. All right. This show is brought to you by the Tim Black Wolfpack. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack if you like your content straight, hard-hitting, and yes, to the point. What's the solution? I don't know if I got a solution, but it damn sure isn't lying to ourselves. And people gaslighting, you allowing people to gaslight you into not believing reality. That ain't the solution. Denial fixes nothing. In fact, it protects those who are the perpetrators. All right, y'all, let's keep it moving, man. Thank y'all. Their identity depends on the racist identity they place on us. Because of the stink, I don't know what that is, but hey, I'm picking things at random. None of these other blackface groups stand 10 toes down with FBA. That's very much true. They don't. Racism is taught. Go ahead, Lori. As a Black American, I don't care about the psychology issues of other groups. What concerns me is how my people will empower themselves to combat it. You know, Georgia Sweet, and you know what? I give it up for Georgia Sweet. I understand what you're saying, Georgia, and that's fine. How can I say this? Clarissa Shields. It's a great boxer, right? Okay. We already proven that she's a great boxer. There is no black boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's no Black Boxing Confederation. There's a number of boxing organizations, but she's got a boxing one that's run by white folks, and the media covering is white, and the networks that show the bouts are white, and the announcers are white, and the judges are white. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like I understand what you're saying. We don't care about the psychology. I could care less what someone's thinking. But let it be known. Let it be known. We need to be realistic about how their thinking manifests into action. Okay? And when I was making the analogy of when you get into the car, when you get out the car, there are some Black people that think we passed something, like we're a post-racial society. Well, that's not the case. There's people that watch me because I am Tim Black, but there are people that don't watch me because I am Tim Black. And then there's also room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? There's also, it's everything, right? So there's also people that just, well, Tim Black just rambles too much. There's also that, right? And then there's also, he has heavy content. I don't want to go to school. He's talking about heavy shit. And then he talks about too much light stuff. And sometimes at the bottom of it, Johnson, at the very beneath the bottom of it is, they just don't want to see my black face. So I feel you, though. I feel you, Joy. I do. I get it. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. We both right. Because we both have our own perspective. I'm trying to grow in that way. It's all about perspective. That's what I've been doing. Me and Mrs. Black been talking about these things, having conversations. And I was like, perspective is the difference. That's the difference. All right. Y'all ready to keep going? I know I am. Let's keep it going, Johnson. Thank y'all for the input, man. I don't have no go. You guys, the comment section, the Tim Black Wolfpack, and people commenting, you are my co-host. You're the co-host.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
He's gone into the Smithsonian, and he's effectively now has some random person deciding what is appropriate for the Smithsonian to teach in terms of American history, things that don't offend parts of the MAGA base, right? So we're now literally reviewing parts of American history and parts of American culture to make sure it comports with Dear Leader and what the MAGA
Can we address
wants.
some of those things that are in there? Because have you looked at some of the things that are being reviewed?
Slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay.
Like, he's
not whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No,
okay.
He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you look
at slavery,
let's talk about the fact
slavery in America was.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race to try to end slavery? Well, what's controversial?
I'm very surprised.
This is an extraordinary exercise in historical revisionism.
I'm really surprised.
Do you realize that?
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and who was not.
What I'm trying to tell you is that
in the context of American history.
Okay.
In the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by saying that it was white people oppressing black people?
Every single thing is like, oh, no, this is all because white people bad. And that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad. Not because of Castro. Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is the gay flag?
Jillian, you have a lot of stuff in front of you.
Yeah, I do,
what
because
exactly
I don't, because here's the thing.
Are you talking about?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
There's one called Change Your Game, right? This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? Does that, and then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports. It's not complex. It's basic science. That's untrue. It's XX chromosome, XY chromosome. That's sports. Is it fair to have biological men competing against biological women in sports? No. But why is this in the Smithsonian? So it's been completely captured.
First of all, I don't.
And it's totally partisan.
First of all, we don't have time to litigate all of this.
Of course we don't, because then you're going to lose the argument.
No.
If everything is racialized, just like you're trying to do to me now.
Excuse me.
It's like, I can't believe you're trying to suggest, that slavery is a good
clear,
thing.
you brought up race.
No,
this was a conversation about the arts, and you brought up race.
It isn't.
You brought up.
But the whole point of this is that the issue
you brought up slavery, and you brought up the question of whether. You brought up the question of whether or not slavery in the United States is about race. The answer is yes.
I did not say
in the United States
don't
is
straw man my
about
argument,
race.
because that's not what I said.
So what are you
brought
talking
up
about?
Slavery. And what I was talking about is that this isn't really about that. When you make every single exhibit about white imperialism when it isn't relevant at all, that is a problem. So when you're talking about Cubans leaving Cuba and you make it about white people bad, that's not accurate.
Can I just say something?
That's my point.
All right, we're going to move on.
I was saying on the arts thing, I think why this is
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, I got to call BS on this one. I got to call BS, but I got to call BS on both sides. Yeah, a little something here. Now, look, obviously I'm calling BS on the whole downplaying of the race of slavery thing, right? Yeah, kind of the worst jumping off point for her to do, which is like jump on the racial side. So I'm talking about the 2%. You know, slavery and racism in America, I mean, for anybody that needs to hear this, I don't think there's a person that does. But we ain't just talking about slavery. We're talking about Jim Crow. We talk about mass incarceration. We talking about everything that happened after that. We talking about black codes. Black people had to walk in the street. White people cannot be charged or convicted of any crimes against black people till like the 50s or 60s. Black people didn't have civil rights until like the 70s. So what are you even talking about? It's not about, when you make it about the 2% of white people that she says own slaves, What about the people that supported the institution? It was a time, the sign of the times. But part of the cop-out of making it about the individuals, you're overlooking the fact it was a government policy. The government allowed it. The government, for hundreds of years, allowed that institution to be present and legal. Then after we were set free, they just started opening up the jails and making us convicts to lease. So right after slavery, we went right into the mass incarceration of Black Americans in order to put us back on the same plantations. But this time, we weren't even property owned by the slaveholder. We were just a rental. And we all know how people treat rentals, don't we? But see, Jillian is a disgusting person to even get in that conversation. Just get out. But this is where I got to also call out Abby Phillips. And I got to call out everybody else at that table that may be privy to this. Now, it didn't take me much time. I just did a little search to find out what was Jillian's parts of her argument besides minimizing slavery, besides trying to defend white people with slavery, which is impossible. No one defends Nazis for, well, yeah, some people do, like Candace Owens. So some people do defend Nazis. And they make comments, but most people do not defend that, the Jewish Holocaust. Some people defend, but people are defending the Black American Holocaust, which was slavery. Well, a lot more people died, by the way. But here's the thing. When I did a search to kind of find out more about Jillian Michaels' argument, I came up with some different contexts that's not being included. That sort of got drowned out by the rebuttals to Jillian coming from all sides. Here goes one of the points. She was talking about the woke propaganda, and this is something that I've been talking about, how with the Democrats and what liberals try to do is they try to shoehorn everything into Black America, into Black pain and Black suffering and slavery and discrimination for Black Americans. But meanwhile, what are they doing? On the top of the blacks, the backs of Black Americans, the foundation of Black Americans, what do? They stack on LGBTQ. They stack on liberal and trans and Latino and Cuban and they stack everything into the Black American pain bucket. We don't get anything extra for it. In fact, what we do get gets diluted because we got to make room for all these other people that don't have the moral authority. Because no matter what you say about the Cubans, no matter what you say about LGBTQ, none of them were slaves. They didn't have Jim Crow. They weren't lynched in large numbers in this country. There's no church bombing of, well, I'm sure there'll be instances. There weren't 4 little girls. I don't see the videos. I don't see the pictures of 4 little trans girls trying to go to school getting spit on by grown-ass white women throwing rocks at them. I just don't see that. There's no Ruby Ridges for that shit because they were still white. But here's the thing. Latino Museum plans. The proposed National Museum of the American Latino is slammed for promoting a leftist anti-American view of Hispanic experiences, focusing on oppression by white imperialism while downplaying immigrant success stories and contributions. They are focusing on Latinos who come to America because they want to. And somehow they forget to mention they want to be here. They choose to come here. And some of them pay a lot of money and go through a lot of hell trying to get here. And then you can put up an exhibit about how bad America treats them. It's kind of crazy. So that's what she's talking about. They said a cultural icons exhibit. I don't even know what this is. What's this cultural icons exhibit that the Trump administration is pushing back on? It's a controversial display reframing beloved American figures like Mickey Mouse and the Lone Ranger through a critical race lens, accusing them of perpetuating colonialism and racism, which detracts entertainment into political propaganda. So now they have exhibits talking about Mickey Mouse and saying Mickey Mouse is racist. The Lone Ranger, what's what they did to Tonto? Man, I was just happy to see Tonto. somebody that wasn't white. But I was a kid. I didn't know all this stuff, right? But I was just glad to see somebody break up some of the white stuff that's going on. I would have been happy to see a Black Robin in the Batman thing. Okay, LGBTQ and gender ideology push. They got exhibits now across museums, including pride flags, content on transgender athletes in women's sports, are criticized for injecting modern woke agendas into history, prioritizing activism over neutral facts. So now they're focusing on LGBTQ and gender ideology within a museum. I don't even know where that comes in. It's like they're trying to do too much, frankly. Yeah, things that you might want to take a class for or buy a book on, which you should damn sure be able to do. Watch a documentary about. They're putting it in a museum and make it a focal point in a. It's like I don't know what that is. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to find out about it. Maybe. Then they talk about the Cuban migration bias. Michaels referenced one exhibit blamed U.S. white imperialism for Cuban crisis, omitting Fidel Castro's communist regime's role in executions, poverty, mass exodus, selective storytelling, and vilifies America while excusing the dictators. So they say that there's more to Jillian's critique and, more importantly, Trump. Forget Jillian. You know, Trump's pushback, the review that the Trump administration, the review wasn't censorship, but a correction to remove partisan spin. That's what they say. All I'm saying is, as a Black American, as a member who advocates, a person who advocates for Black Americans, unapologetically, we ain't flinching. I'm tired. We're tired. I could say we are tired of Democrats and liberals using Black pain and suffering to help everybody except Black Americans. And then when we say, hey, let's get something substantive for Black Americans accomplished, let's get us off the bottom of home ownership, for instance. That's divisive. So it's divisive to actually create policy that helps us, and now it's illegal. But not if you go lineage. But you get what I'm saying? It's illegal to help us, but it ain't illegal to help everybody else. And they use our blood, pain, and suffering to prop up all these other groups. And we are tired of it. We're fed up with it. So that's why I give them both. I give them both a bullshit detector alert. Let's see here, Johnson. It's been a minute. But if I look real good over here, I'll see it.
Full of shit.
Yeah, because I don't believe that either one of these people or either group, either the Jillian or the Abby Phillips crew, are totally oblivious of what's been happening to America and how Jillian is downplaying race when it comes to slavery. We don't care if it was 2% or 50%. All Black people felt the pain, and we all had our income and wealth choked out by this institution. Not just during slavery, but afterwards. So it's about more than that. But also, real was real. We ain't here to champion for the damn Democrats or the Smithsonian on this overarching. They wanted to make the conversation. They wanted to get away because it's really hard to defend the Cuban stuff and the LGBTQ stuff. They want to jump back and keep jumping back to the Black stuff, where they got better ground. See what I'm saying? They got better ground to defend Jillian's comments by making it all about Black Americans and slavery. But there ain't much defense you can do about the Cuban stuff or the LGBTQ stuff or the women's sports stuff. Yeah, it gets flimsy. So then they run back to Black world and hide behind Black men and women and our suffering. And then they go and collect what they can for other groups. That makes sense? I'm sure you get it. And that, my friends, is part of what makes things so difficult. part of it. And that's why people got tired of the woke shit. Not just because of the black stuff, but because how it was being manipulated. I'm trying to tell you, Johnson, we've been on this. All right, fam, let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah. Today is Friday. There we go. I haven't put this up in a while. I mean, what day it is, man. Anybody in the comment section got a comment before we move on, fam? During this live stream, a light-skinned fellow asked me about my day. I said, because of new housemates, we all black. Then he texted me twice referring to them with a hard R. Oh, no. Damn. I said, because of new housemates, we all black. Then he texted me twice referring to them with a hard R. Goodness gracious. I'm kind of lost what happened here, Anna. But I'm hoping he's hit you with the hard R, huh? Damn. All right, Dan. Where are we, Johnson? Where are we? I don't know what you're talking about. I guess you're talking about Jillian. I don't know. That's Jillian too. Even Abby couldn't take it. I'm not. I'm gonna keep moving, man, because I don't know what the comments even referring to. A Latino talking about slavery, but okay with a genocide. Wow. All right, let's keep going, Johnson. Let's keep going. All right, you guys ready? Let's keep the party going. All right, guys, don't forget to hit the like button. We're trying to get our likes up. Can we get to 400 tonight? I don't know what our crowd looks like, but can we get to 400? And if you're on Facebook, man, let's get some comments for some of my Facebook people, man. Who's in the Facebook land? I got any Facebook people in the building? How about X? Any love for X or Facebook? I'm talking to you, fam. All right. It's going to get crazy.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
For the last 4 years, they said, no, these are great maps. They're race neutral. Don't do anything to change them. We want to keep them. And then all of a sudden they said, never mind, we want to change the maps. They're terrible and they're wrong. And they're citing this case that came out in 2024 from the Fifth Circuit. But the reality is that we just went through the trial and that wasn't even but a month ago. And the state still had the same position. So they are twisting themselves into a pretzel to appease this wannabe Hitler that we have in the White House. But I think he's actually creating a bigger problem. I think people now, first of all, understand what gerrymandering looks like and why it's so problematic. I think people are finally waking up to the fact that Texas is a majority minority state. So when we say that it's not really a red state, but we just are a voter suppressed, voter apathy and underinvested state, people now are starting to understand that, especially when the only way that he could get these seats was by depressing the voices of black and brown people in this majority minority state.
If you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
The only weakling in this equation is the governor himself. It's not Texans that elected the governor to the governor's mansion that asked him to do this. It is the criminal that is currently serving in the White House that begs for him to do this. So let me tell you something. I can guarantee you that Gene Wu's district has not called in and said that he is not representing them or their voices. In fact, it's just the opposite. And I know that my governor may not have practiced law too recently, but I would like to inform him, if he cares to know, that our Texas Constitution specifically provides for being able to break quorum. That is in our Constitution. So as far as I'm concerned, these folk that decided that they were going to break quorum are more Texan and more American than the governor and the president himself.
You know, one of the things about Jasmine Crockett, man, and I think people need to recognize is that when she be when she jumps out of the building on this stuff, when she goes viral for taking on Trump and doing a lot of grandstanding. That's not for Black Americans. Unfortunately, we got a group of Black Americans that feel that Jasmine Crockett is doing that for us, but she's not. She's doing it for the Democratic Party. In this particular instance, she's doing it for herself because she just lost her district. Yes, she's no longer even residing in the district that she was elected to represent. So now, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, there's already a representative where she lives is now going to be the 33rd district, and there's already an incumbent that's there that's pretty popular. And since Jasmine spent the majority of her time going on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, and, going viral, for going at Trump, I don't know what she's done for actual people in Texas, people actually in her district. And so what do you have? What can you say to people that you're going to do for them? What are you going to say? Look what I got done for my district. I'm now in the 33rd. I'm now in the 33rd district. I was in the 30th. Look what my great track record of doing stuff. She basically got nothing to run on because the whole time she was just being a mouthpiece for the Democrats or a mouthpiece, a mouthpiece for herself. Yeah, let me clarify that. I feel like Jasmine Crockett was doing a lot of that grandstanding for Jasmine Crockett because Democrats' popularity went down further. Her star rose, Democratic Party took a nosedive. She rose, the party nosed. So how can you say she was doing this for the Democratic Party? If she was hurting them because they got less popular the more she talked. And maybe that's why not a lot of people are really coming to her aid right now. Let's keep going.
All they do is they take the power and then they ignore the people that put them in power. What they do instead is they pledge their fealty to some idiot who obviously is struggling mentally, whether it is mental decline or whether it's not he's ever had the capacity. They have decided that they are going to do whatever it is that he wants them to do instead of doing what's right for Texas. One of my colleagues, Sylvia Garcia, continues to say, I never thought I'd see the day that a Texan would bow down to a New Yorker, right? Like, we know how Texas has this next level pride the same way that New York does, but that's exactly what we see happening. So the only thing the Democrats can do is they can decide that they're going to sit there and be the nice guys that we have always been, the ones that always want to take the high road, or they can decide that there is a fight that is being waged. And while we didn't start it, we will finish it and make sure that we finish it on behalf of the American people and democracy.
For the last.
Yeah, she said the Democrats always was the nice guys. I mean, if the Democrats have been the nice guys, we don't need no more nice guys. If that's what you call being nice, ignoring Black pain, ignoring Black issues for 70 years by taking our votes, putting them in your back pocket, getting power, and then going, what can we do? We can't do nothing. Our hands are tied. Tie my hands real quick so the Blacks can see them tied. That's what the Democratic Party's been doing, pretending, pulling their punches, faking like they're going to do something. Whole bunch of running around. Whole bunch of pretending to fight. Meanwhile, gaslighting the hell out of Black people and telling them, hey, you don't want those guys over there. Those guys are the Klan. Meanwhile, there's a lot of bigots in the Democratic Party. I mean, technically, the Democratic Party invented the KKK. Technically. Oh, Tim, there was a great switch. Yeah, but some of that's still in there. It's still in there. I can tell. Because whenever I bring up a Black issue, even amongst progressives, I would get oh, Tim, stop being so divisive, Tim Black. Stop being so divisive. Bernie can't fight for Black people, Tim. He can't do it or he'll lose. Well, if he's not going to fight for me, why would I want him to win? Oh, you're being selfish, Tim Black, worried about yourself. Nah, it sounds like that's what you're doing. Because if you were worried about me, you'd be pushing Bernie to do what I need him to do. You'd be pushing Hillary to do what I need him to do, Roland. You'd be pushing them, Dr. Rashad Ritchie, instead of being a lapdog for Obama and for the Clintons, you'd have been fighting for us. But, you know, their personal pocket always wins. Ain't that right, down to Brazil? Isn't that right? Yeah, that's what it always is. It's kind of funny for Jasmine Crockett to say anybody took their eye off the ball and bowed to power. It's crazy. That's nasty work for Jasmine Crockett to say such things. Damn, talk about calling the pot calling the kettle black, man. That's some cast iron. That's a cast iron pot calling the kettle black, man. Jesus Christ. I keep telling y'all, anything the Democrats accuse other people of doing, they did it first. Or they're doing it now. Or they got plans to do it in the future. I mean, that's the case. That happens on both sides, by the way. But it plays into Jasmine Crockett saying, we the nice ones. Yeah, you nicely allow mass incarceration in the crime bill that devastated black communities in the 90s. You nicely passed that under Democrats. So nice of you. Mighty Democrat Party of you.
Last 4 years, they said, no, these are great maps. They're race neutral. Don't do anything to change them. We want to keep them. And then all of a sudden they said, never mind, we want to change the maps. They're terrible and they're wrong. And they're citing this case that came out in 2024 from the Fifth Circuit. But the reality is that we just went through the trial and that wasn't even but a month ago. And the state still had the same position. So they are twisting themselves into a pretzel to appease this wannabe of black and brown people in this majority minority.
That, right? This is like somebody,
especially when the only way that he could get these seats was by depressing the voices of black and brown people in this majority minority state.
A lot of those black and brown people, a lot of them, particularly the brown people, voted for Trump. She's leaving that out. She's making it seem like just because they were brown, and really, I don't even know if we should call Latinos brown or not, but I know that's what they do. Yeah, a lot of them voted for Trump.
I talk to black folk all the time as somebody that's a child of a preacher. Listen, most black people are not Republicans simply because we just is like, y'all racist. I can't hang out with the KKK in them.
See what I'm saying? Democrats got a lot of racists in them, and that's what I'm saying. They always using that race issue to benefit Democrats, but the Democratic Party is not a black party just because they got a few Jasmine Crockett's. Doesn't make them a black party. It doesn't mean that they fight for black people. It means they virtual signal like they will fight for black people. But then to keep white people, because if they lose any more white people, they never win. They can't actually do anything for black people. And that's, I'm giving them that they would even want to. Yeah, some would argue they don't even want to. It's all bull. All right, so this idea that they are hamstrung because they got to go against the Republicans and that they would do everything they could, and she's up here talking as if there's only one bad guy. Both parties suck. And that's if you black, you don't have a party. If you working class, you don't have a party. If you want to end wars, you don't have a party. If you want a clean environment, you don't have a party. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to end the genocide, you don't have a party. If you want your money spent here instead of spent bombing other countries, you don't have a party. You may think you do, but you don't. What you have is a narrative, a story, a byline, a science fiction, a great romance novel, but you do not have a party. And as soon as, if I could ever get people to wake up to these facts, if I could ever get people to wrap their head around it, to accept it, you know what I'm saying? I know it's difficult, man. I grew up shopping at thrift stores, you know? I grew up working class, below middle class, right? Shopping at thrift stores, you know, not having the news. We had Sykes, not Nikes. You understand what I'm saying? And as things went on, my parents got a little bit more money, but it was never like that. We lived in apartments, roaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it was. But you know how people are like, when you're young, you don't know you're poor because everybody else around you's poor too, and this is just what the world is, and you don't go a lot of places unless you got rich friends. You know? So that's sort of like some of the goofies in the Democratic Party that mean well. They think it's normal. They think what they have is acceptable because it's all they're used to. But no, it's not acceptable, and it's not benefiting you. Let's keep going.
That's really what it is. But when we think about who we are as black people and we think about where we come from, most black people have very conservative values, right? But the reality is that, like, we just can't side with, like, the neo-Nazis in them.
Neo-Nazis. That's what we... So, neo-Nazis is like this many people. I'm gonna be clear here, man. See, this gaslighting BS, neo-Nazis like this many people, yo. In America. Neo-Nazis, this many people. Yeah, there are some neo-Nazis in America. Dog, that's the least of our worries. That's just her trying to gaslight. And you can see how quiet it was in the room. Because this loud talking, trying to be a stand-up comedian without any punchlines, that ain't working for her all the time. You see the reception in there? It was quiet. Yeah, it was quiet in there. Y'all see that? Everybody looking at her like she don't get, like, what's going on? What's going on? What is she talking about?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Listen, most black people are not Republicans simply because we just is like, y'all racist. I can't hang out with the KKK in them. That's really what it is. But when we think about who we are as black people and we think about where we come from, most black people have very conservative values, right? But the reality is that, like, we just can't side with, like, the neo-Nazis in them.
And that's why, no, what you can't side with is the Democratic Party telling you how racist everybody else is, except the Democrats. Yeah, everybody else is racist. They hate you. They want to kill you. They want to lynch you. But not us. We love you. Hell no, we don't want to vote. Hell no, you can't lead our committee, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, it's a narrative.
We not dealing with y'all like that, right?
You guys know what happens at conservative events. Grindr blows up, it goes offline. And so all of everything that they preach about, every accusation is a confession.
Yes.
You know what's so funny to me? Where do the highest number, not talking about percentage-wise, the highest number of registered sex offenders, where do they live?
Red states.
I'm about to say
Texas.
the South.
Texas.
Texas has...
Uh-oh, Congresswoman.
Texas has almost 80,000
Not my
registered sex
neighbors.
offenders.
You know good. Well, don't worry about it, Jasmine, because you're really not from Texas anyway, are you? Yeah, so Jasmine Crockett's not having a good time, Johnson. It's been tough for her. I mean, it's been a roller coaster, man. It went from high mountaintops to low valley roads. Yeah, man, she had a good time, man, a good run. Given the business of Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I supported. Yeah, man, I supported that. Marjorie Taylor Greene deserved that one. And it was on point, too, with the badly built bad body built. That was good. Yeah, anytime you can use alliteration. You know, like Freaky Friday, Frenzy, get it? Anytime you use alliteration, things kind of work out for you. It's the rule of threes in comedy. I get where Jazz was coming from. But ever since then, man, it just got treacherous and stupid. I mean, fam, do you realize she out of Congress, basically, effectively? I mean, it hasn't happened yet. Technically, it hasn't happened. But she pretty much don't have a district. They withdrew the map to get rid of her. And I wonder why they did that. It wouldn't have anything to do with the fact she was on TV and on the radio ranking on her governor's disability. Yeah, she didn't just go at his policies. She didn't just go at something he said in a speech that she didn't like. She was going at him because he's paralyzed. Oh no, who knew somebody might get a little resentful about that? Y'all know, y'all heard her call him Governor Hot Wheels. You heard her do that. Why wasn't anybody else doing that? Because they cowards or because they're smart? Yeah, maybe. Jasmine Crockett ain't so smart. Someone called her Jasmine Crockett. Some's itching. Her replacement. Maybe going after Trump for 6 months straight, doing everything you can do to get attention. Now you got it. Now you got some extra special attention. And now look at it. Staring at the front door. Main source, large professor. Let's keep going. You know, at first I was kind of wondering, hey man, is it going to be a Hail Mary for her? Is she going to be able to spin out of this and lean into it and get out of harm's way and be safe? Maybe that'll happen. Then I realized she's very unlikely to succeed. She's very unlikely to be able to pull out of this one. You know how I knew? When I saw this segment, when I saw Cowardly Lion, Stephen A. Smith, when I saw him throwing her under the bus, I said, well, grand opening, grand closing for Jasmine Crockett, because Stephen A. Smith to go out on the line for nobody. That dude be tiptoeing, playing both sides of the fence. They call him the big Aristotle when it comes to walking the line between Republican and Democrat. It's basically as gingerly as possible. The guy's like a ballerina on his tippy toes. And when I saw him giving Jasmine Crockett the business, I said, she's out of there. Check it out.
Almost 80,000.
Not my neighbors.
You know good and well I wouldn't vote for Mom Donnie. I wouldn't vote for AOC. I don't like the way Jasmine Crockett is talking. I don't think that helps the Democratic
Party. I have a last question.
I don't like
Exit
that.
question. Who are the leaders of your party right now? It's not Hakeem Jeffries and it's not Chuck Schumer. It's all those names I mentioned.
Sean, there is no leader for the Democratic Party. That's why they're in trouble. There is no leader. That's why they're in trouble.
Repeat after me.
Everything that he's done, but I'm not going to castigate him and talk about him like and call him everything but a child of God, like some of our politicians on Capitol Hill are doing, thinking that that's going to work to the benefit of the Democratic Party. When you listen to Jasmine Crockett or an AOC and the way they talk about them, even an Elizabeth Warren to a lesser degree or what have you, the Republicans are having a field day. They like, put them up on the screen. Let's show them. They plaster them all over the place, especially Mom Donnie. That's not an order today, just like you pointed. Why? Because they know that even though New York might go for him, America won't. And in a general election, you are going to fall if you are anti-America, if you are anti-capitalism, and you want to embrace extreme leftism and socialism. But they want you scared to say that. You're not scared, and I can assure you I could give less than a damn.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith, you may not be scared, but you damn sure being smart, huh? That's what you call it. That's what you call it. That long disclaimer you gave just to respond to Michelle Obama's critique of you on her podcast. Yeah, man, you took about 20 minutes to even get to the meat of your argument. Oh, you know, Michelle Obama, you know, you are the Lord. You're the Lord Savior herself. You are everything. I will drink your bath water. You are so amazing and fantastic. But please, don't call me a reality show housewife in front of the kids. Please. All right, ho. All right, let's keep going, Johnson. What do y'all think? I think Jasmine Crockett is looking at the door right now. I think it's not looking good for her. I don't think they're going to pull out all the stops for Jasmine Crockett. She's attracted undue attention. And folks, I don't know if you noticed or not, I've been saying for quite some time that what happens, and I noticed some people are saying this too, but I was saying it first. It's funny. It's okay if you watch the show and use stuff. You could give credit though, sir. Check this out. The Democrats have a knack for letting black women who want to seize power, that want to be in the limelight, let them take an opportunity and be pushed forward, but they don't realize that it's a short-lived celebration. Ask Fonnie Willis, ask Letitia James. It's not going to last long. And the repercussions of such activity, when the rooster comes home to roost, won't nobody be roosting with you. You're sitting up there, You sit up there strutting now, you're looking good now, but when it's time to pay the piper, you by yourself. And that's what Jasmine Crockett is. And as bad as that is, that I feel that she was set up, her greed set her up. It's sort of like the monkeys where they put they have the thing where they put the food in the thing, the trap, and the monkeys smell the food and they just reach into the thing, and but the hole is so small you can't pull your hand out if you won't. The only way you can pull your hand out is if you open up your hand and let go of the food. And since the monkey is so determined, it's so greedy, it's a greedy asshole, that it won't unball its fist because it wants the food. It smell it. They know it's got. They feel it. They can feel the fruit. They can feel it. They don't want to let it go. And they could just come by and just scoop them up, throwing that over and pick them up, because they'll sit there all night with their hand in the pot. And all they could do is let go and run, but they won't. And that's the way Jasmine Crockett and Letitia James and Fonnie Willis were, about the limelight, about what they saw as opportunity going after Donald Trump. I'm not going to tell you that Donald Trump isn't petty. He petty. But everybody knew he was petty. I remember Charles Barkley saying, "Oh, he's petty. Oh, he's petty as hell. He petty. He's petty. Oh, Trump is petty. Come on, Ernie. He's petty. He's gonna get you. He's gonna want revenge. He's gonna want revenge. Oh, Ernie. Come on, Ernie. He's gonna want revenge, Ernie." They all knew he was petty, but at the end of the day, you knew what you were working with, and you still kept poking. They thought they were going to take him out, but like I say, Trump is like the monster from Jeepers Creepers. Trump is like death in Final Destination. You can't escape it. It wins. It circles back and gets you. It circles. It gonna come get you too. And that's the way I feel Trump is. You know, he won his primary 3 times. Name a Democrat that won one since Obama. Nobody's won really a primary since Obama. They don't really have a party. It's got a bunch of grieving, pissed off, complaining, bitter adolescents running around. I don't even know what it is. A bunch of greedy carpetbaggers, corrupt people taking money from different places, not really standing on anything, not really supporting anything. I mean, they didn't really support George Floyd. They didn't give a shit. They didn't care about Black Lives Matter. And shame on black people that think they did. Shame on you for thinking that party cared about that. If they cared about it, they still care about it, wouldn't they? Is this somebody that you care about that you stop caring about all of a sudden? If you care about helping people with certain conditions and problems and diseases or whatever, situations, you probably still feel that way. Why would it leave? Maybe it was never genuine to begin with. And that's what people got to accept. They got to accept that reality about the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying Republicans care about those issues. I'm not saying they do. But they don't tell you they do. Get it? Yeah. Get it? It's like thinking you got insurance coverage until you go to use it. That's the Democrats. At least Republicans turn you down when you go to apply. The Democrats say, yeah, we got you. They'll take your money every month. But then when you go to cash in on your policy, they tell you, oh gosh, you didn't read the thing here. Sorry, you got the wrong kind of gout. We don't cover that kind of gout. I didn't tell you what kind of gout I got. Okay, what kind of gout do you have, man? I got this A+2 gout. Oh, see? A+2 gout. We don't cover that. I'm sorry, A+3? A+3? Oh, we don't cover that either. It's not written down, but it is. It's anything above 0. So that's the Democratic Party, man. The nationwide executive got popped. Democrat. Not Republican, Democrat. Guy who shot him, Democrat. Y'all ready? All right, let's keep going, Johnson. Actually, I'm not positive about the guy who shot him. He may have been socialist. I don't know. Y'all ready? Let's keep going. Show ain't over here, Johnson. It's Friday, Johnson. We're going to get punchy tonight.
Great.
The one and only Sha'Carri Richardson. Amazing. She's one of America's brightest track and field stars. Currently holds the title of world's fastest woman. Born in March 25th, 2000 in Dallas, Texas. She's only 24 years old, Johnson. That would make her 25, right? She's 25 years old. Okay, Sprint has become a household name for both her incredible speed and her bold personal style. And look at all the champions and the highlights. 2023 World Champion success. Richardson won gold in 100 meters at the 2023 World Championships in Budapest. Then she also won gold as part of Team USA in the women's 100 meter relay. With a championship record of 41.03 seconds, she set a record. 2024 Paris Olympics. At the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, Richardson won silver in the 100 meter and gold in the 4x100 meter relay. She anchored the team, and she ran a personal best of 10.7 seconds, becoming the 6th fastest woman of all time and the 4th fastest American woman in U.S. history. Ladies and gentlemen, Sha'Carri Richardson. Put some respect on her name. But tonight, we're not just talking about her amazing foot speed. We're also talking about her aggressive tendencies, Johnson. Now, this is what I saw. This is an incident that occurred at an airport with her boyfriend. And there she is at the bottom, sitting there pushing him. Him walking away, and her pushing him again and pushing him and pushing him again. And there was a lot of this, right? And it's out of the camera, but people saw it. And she is obviously, and by all accounts, she was the aggressor in this. In fact, he keeps trying to get away from her. And she wants to give him the smoke, and he don't want the smoke. He's not defending himself, and she keeps going.
Christian, are you serious right now? Okay. I didn't assault him though. We have video cameras. I literally we were having an argument. I'm not resisting, so you don't have to do it harder. Christian, are you serious right now? Christian.
Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand. We were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay, I'm not gonna resist. But I'm telling you that we were arguing. I didn't assault him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that your guys are doing this to me and he's the man in the situation, I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you have me on camera. But at the same time, what he has on camera, when I have my phone, shows something different. So if I need to show that, I will.
We have you on cameras all around here.
Okay, but I have my phone that shows something different. But Christian, thank you, Christian.
Don't talk to him right now.
Okay, I won't. Thank you so much, officer. They are arresting me right now, Christian. Sissy, they're arresting me right now. Am I gonna go actually to jail right now? You are actually gonna go to jail. Wait, but right now, yes, it's a physical I didn't. Can he tell you that I didn't do nothing to him? We have it on Christian, are you serious right now? All right. Christian, I'm about to go to jail because of you right now.
Oh, it's Sha'Carri.
Okay, so first things, man, and this is bad. This is bad, you know. Obviously, she was in the wrong. Obviously, what she did was, you know, abuse. Now, we all know what happens when it's a man doing it. We seen Ray Rice. We seen Diddy. Right? We know, I wish I had one more to mention, but those two are enough, right? So we know, remember football player Ray Rice in the elevator, you know, and we know what happens, right? When men are caught doing such things. And it's just, okay, so the reason why I'm putting this out about Sha'Carri Richardson is because there were a lot of people that was defending her. And I don't think she's a really good person, at least not right now. Maybe just because she's cute and can run and talented and hell of athletic, gifted, doesn't mean she's a good person. Doesn't mean she's a real balanced, mentally stable human being. Doesn't mean that at all. In fact, I found that disturbing that she was basically trying to throw him under the bus for what she got caught doing. I mean, she knew she was putting hands on him. Now she's talking about him putting hands on her, but that's not the footage that was in the airport. I don't know where she said that took place. She said she had it on her camera. He's now pressing charges against her. He refused to place charges on her. He refused. He went publicly and said, hey, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything to her. I love her, and I don't want anything negative to happen to her because of me at all. He totally took the hit. Okay? And I mean that literally and figuratively. So what we have is a hypocrisy in our culture, right? That allows for abuse as long as it's done to men. And folks, we've seen it. We've seen men. I've seen men and women be aggressive towards men, and other people look at it and go, oh, it was, what'd you do to her? How'd you tick her off? How'd you piss her off? That type of thing. Because we all know it's unacceptable when men do it. It's unacceptable. If society looks at you shamefully if you put your hands on a woman. Hell, society looks at you shamefully if you get loud, if you call names, if you get verbally abusive. Men get more scrutiny, more negative scrutiny from balanced, well-balanced, not all men. Because, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all men. Let me clean that up. Not saying all men. We got some, Neanderthals who might defend a man being aggressive or being physically abusive. Saying you got to reboot the system. I'm talking about well-balanced men. I'm talking about men in their right minds, men who are mature, men who don't lay their hands on women. Okay? Those type of men. And those type of men do not applaud men putting their hands on women. But there is this area, man, and I don't know where it came from. There's an area where it's almost acceptable to a certain degree for women to do it. And that's not all. I said a certain degree, right? It's a certain degree of women, a certain amount of women within the culture here in the United States that allows for women to act out, for women to be aggressive, for women to lay hands, for women to make threats. And that's not to say that Sha'Carri Richardson is the worst person in the world, but in that moment, she deserved to be arrested. Hopefully, she'll take the opportunity to do what many men need to do in the same situation, we would say. Get some help. Get some treatment. Work this out. Talk to somebody. Who knows? I know a mother passed away not too long ago. She shared that with the world. It's got a lot of trauma that she's probably dealing with, even behind that incident. I'm not in her business. I'm not making excuses for her either. But what I'm saying is, everybody could do with some therapy. Everybody could do with someone to talk to about their issues. So to her credit, I want to show this video where she apologizes. But is it an apology really? Let's look at this and see what we think.
And more than anything, definitely a lot of self-reflection, a lot of understanding of not only putting myself in a compromised situation, but somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well is something that holding myself accountable. I see myself, I'm taking this time to not only see myself, but give myself a certain level of help that overall is going to reflect who I truly am in my heart and my spirit, and not allowing this moment, but accepting this moment to be more. And so my only thing is I want to be more, not even just for myself, for my family, for my fans, and overly appreciate y'all supporting me and showing up and even holding me accountable to being my best self. So more than anything, I refuse to run away. But not refuse to run, but I refuse to run away, but face everything that comes to me head on, because everything on the other side is greater, but you got to go through in order to get there. So I'm Sha'Carri, y'all. I appreciate y'all, and one love, much love, and y'all be blessed.
Next.
Yeah, and so the question was, do you think that she was being genuine in her apology? And I think as genuine as I think that she could be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think when you're a young person sometimes, the reality is, sometimes you're in a young relationship, you really don't need to be in a relationship. You need to be in a relationship with yourself. You need to get your own house in order. And sometimes we're in relationships way before we need to be. And we got way too much riding on things working out. Way too serious. And we need so many other things to work on. And sometimes that's kind of the reason why we're doing it, because we don't want to deal with ourselves. Yeah, we don't want to deal with our own ish. So we rather deal with another person, which gives us a vacation from our own problems. And sometimes camouflages it. And sometimes that's where substance abuse comes in and a whole host of other issues. But I think I'm a differ than some people on this. I think she is genuine. I don't think she wants a repeat of what happened. I think, yeah, there's damage control. Obviously, it's going to be some damage control, right? I mean, who wouldn't want damage control? You're being, you publicly were doing something that some people would find very unacceptable. That would be bad for you, your brand, bad for your business, bad for your life, bad for opportunities. Oh, I know who I was thinking of. I was thinking of the actor. Remember the actor? What's the actor's name who recently got in trouble with the date? And he almost lost his career. He had a Marvel franchise thing going on. We covered it. His name escapes me at the moment. And that's bad, because the name probably escapes me for the moment, because the hit his career took from just the allegation that he did a lot less than what Sha'Carri Richardson did. I know somebody in here knows it. He did the Apollo Creed movie recently. Jonathan Majors. I got it. I got it before you did. Oh, somebody got it. Val got it, Jonathan Majors. So, yo. So check it out, Val. So Jonathan Majors, Val. Thank you, Val. Jonathan Majors, in my opinion, did a lot less than what Sha'Carri Richardson did. And I had to think pretty hard about who Jonathan Majors was there for a minute, right? And Christian Coleman was whatever that lady was, who was pressing charges against Jonathan Majors. And I just want people to take a look at that for what it is. That's all. Take a look at it for what it is, right? Okay. Just be clear here. And some people will criticize Christian Coleman. So it is what it is. Once again, I think it's something to look at. I think it's something to consider. I think Sha'Carri Richardson's a young person. I don't want to condemn her. I damn sure ain't into canceling our young people. Okay? Hope she gets assistance, deal with her issues, deal with her temper, deal with whatever was causing that, where that was coming from, and and move on and be glad it's something light, not something serious that I think will destroy her career. Because it don't take much when the shoe's on the other foot for your career to be destroyed. All right, guys, let's keep going, man. Thank you. You can joke with a woman, just genuine cracking jokes, and the first thing some women do is smack you on your shoulder real hard, like it's an instinctual gesture that some people overlook at first. There you go. There you go, fam. Hold on. Who's that? The Fall Guy 94. The Fall Guy 94, exactly. And there's really I don't feel that there is a pass for that in male versus female. Now, maybe in some other cultures, but not in Black American culture, there isn't. And see, the reason why I want to kind of point this out, because oftentimes, fam, when we're online, and depending on what your algorithm's doing and what platform you're on, you get a bunch of negative content about black relationships, particularly black men with black women. Okay, and people don't realize how lucrative it is, how relationships are one area that the algorithm understands that triggers people, that gets people engaged, it keeps them watching. I do not believe that in America, that black American men or black American women are more volatile than they've ever been. I believe, for the most part, it's now good business. It's sort of like when you watch TV, isn't it good to have, like, they have certain shows. Remember when they had all reality TV shows on TV? That's because at that time, it was a real boom for reality TV shows. And I remember a time game shows were more important. Remember that? Remember when there used to be a lot more made-for-TV movies on your regular TV channels? Well, these were all due to programming that was lucrative at the moment, right? Well, guess what? Your phone is the new TV. And when you get stuff on your phone, it may not reflect reality, but it reflects the programming of that platform in order to keep you hooked in so they can show you ads along the way. This is the TV, Johnson. It's not a mirror into society. It's a mirror into a version of society. It's a mirror into the perception that the algorithm wants you to get. People need to see that. So the pop the balloons and all the other stuff that you get on your phone, even Kevin Samuels, man, all that stuff. It was just good content that kept people, and I say good, that is relative. Good for the platform content. Because of the Kevin Samuels or the Pop the Balloon or anything like that, anything in that realm, if that wasn't good for the platform, you never would have heard of them people. Because the platform never would have put it in front of you. That's why I say, people, you got to hit like. You got to share the content on this show. Because if you don't share, you don't hit like. I've been doing this 13 years on this. I've been on this channel over 10 years, on this channel right here. And I find people every day that never saw me before. And they ain't just get YouTube yesterday. They didn't get YouTube today and then all of a sudden they see Tim Black. No, they've been on it. We've been on the same phone. We've been in the same app. And they never saw my face before. They never heard my content before. Because the algorithm didn't put it in front of them. But they'll put a bunch of videos of black men and black women going at it. They'll put videos of a man saying black women are horrible and this is why black women don't have men and blah, blah, blah. Somebody who never been married, don't have no kids, telling you what black women are. A black woman telling you what black men don't do for her. And she ain't never been married, never had kids, don't have a successful relationship, and never had one. And even if you did have one, you only had one. Get what I'm saying? Steve Harvey. I end it like this. Steve Harvey became a relationship guru after 4 divorces. And the algorithms were selling him as a relationship genius, even. You can't trust the algorithm. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let me know in the comment section what you think about Sha'Carri Richardson. I say she a keeper. Let's not get rid of her. And let's just hope that she works it out with somebody. And those two people, those two young people, don't necessarily have to be together. All right. And maybe they don't need to, and maybe if Sha'Carri has issues, she shouldn't be with anybody. Be with you. Be with you. All right, next. Big shout out to Megs in the building for giving up some memberships to somebody, Megs. I appreciate you. I do. What we doing here? Oh, we getting to the end, towards the end, Johnson. We getting to the end of the show. Let's go, Johnson.
On deck with Tim Black.
Motherfucker! Oh!
Oh! Oh! It's fucking done! It's fucking done!
Motherfucker! Oh!
The Benny Hill song is playing in the back of my head. And I'm like watching this. I'm like, what is this guy doing? And why is he doing it? This white guy in the pink shirt, he just hit an ATF agent with a Subway sandwich and then tried to run. He wasn't even really running. You know he can't run that fast. You know what I'm saying? Where was he going? They caught him. So this just brings up the whole topic that we're talking about, the D.C. federalization of D.C. with the ATF, the NTF, the FBI, all these DHS, all these different law enforcement personnel coming to the District of Columbia, D.C., my hometown, and being able to do police work. And I don't know, this is one story. This guy doing that.
Oh, it's fucking good! He's fucking good!
He wasn't even trying to run fast. It looked like he was jogging. You're supposed to run faster than that if you're really trying to get away, Johnson.
And I live in Washington. This is personal for me. Many people are frustrated with crime that we see, particularly committed by juveniles in the city of Washington. People are frustrated, Willie, that when they go to CVS to buy deodorant, that they have to get it from behind locked plexiglass, right? But the response here, and let me say this, right? These are not just random anecdotes. What we see in Washington Post polling, among others, is that roughly half of D.C. residents, mostly half of D.C. residents, view this as a serious problem or an extremely serious problem.
What's up, y'all? First, let me address Poindexter here real quick. All right, now, this is an issue that I have when we start talking about crime, right? When we start talking about crime, the problem that we have, the problem that we continue to have here, is the way that crime is addressed when it comes to Black Americans. It's not going to be the same way that it's addressed necessarily when it comes to white Americans, even Latino Americans and Asian Americans. We understand ourselves. Do we get where we're coming from here? Am I making sense? So, yeah, as a Black American, this is a conundrum that we have, right? We want peace. We want peaceful surroundings. We want a beautiful place to live. We don't want to be, accosted by people. We don't want to be robbed. We don't want our vehicles broken into. We don't even want to have to wait for them to get the key to give us the deodorant. We don't want any of that, right? Here's the other side, though. But we also got to remember, when we increase police presence, what's up? We still live in America, Johnson, and the police presence that we have, who knows what that means? Who knows how they're going to conduct that or execute that presence, and how it's going to affect Black Americans, because it's going to be different than the way they police white folks. It just is. It doesn't mean every encounter with police for white folks goes well. I've covered stories of white folks being unalived by cops too. Doesn't happen as much, but it does happen. And if you're a white person and you lost a family member to that, you don't want to hear nothing about numbers. All you know is you have somebody gone. Okay? And I think America intentionally doesn't want to cover white folks getting beat up by cops or unalived by cops, because it's going to be some shit. January 6th level. If they covered white people the way they cover Black people being killed by cops, then there'd be a change. I know there would be, because that's the way America's built. So yeah, it's a dilemma that we're in, right? Because when we talk about over-policing, when we're talking about increasing policing, we're also asking them to rough people up, because that's what's going to happen. We're also asking them to falsely imprison people sometime, to accost people, to pat them down. Now we start getting back into the Giuliani days. The Cory Booker in New Jersey saying we need to do stop and frisk, then trying to be a progressive like he never said that shit. He was championing for it when he was the mayor of Newark. Okay? when we start getting into the fact that we have people in the Congressional Black Caucus pushing for the 94 crime bill. It wasn't just Bill and Biden. There were a lot of people going, we need to do something. We got to do something. There are people dying. And then they weren't thinking. They weren't thinking about the ramifications of what was going to happen with those legislations or those crime bills, how they were going to be implemented. Right? So this is the situation that we find ourselves in. And as Black Americans, and having a platform like this, we got to have that conversation. It's tough. It truly is. Because we also start getting in the class. Because if you're in a black certain type of neighborhood that does not have that same impact, and the only time you really got to deal with cops, or you got to deal with maybe the notorious YNs, is when you go to a certain location to get a certain thing. But other than that, when you get back to your hood or back to your, whatever, you're good on your block, you got to realize them cops going to be on those people's blocks while they're not on your block harassing you. Get what I'm saying? Okay. So I think it's only right to have grown-up conversations about what this really means for us and say we cognizant of this. It's tough. There is no one size fits all. There's gray area. So I see why the city is split on how to deal with crime. But according to the polling, it looks like Trump is doing better. It seems like as a country, he went into the positive on his crime policy. More people support this than don't support it. Now, I don't know the demographics of those two subsets. But I'm just telling you what I noticed. I'm just telling you what I read, and that is more people are in support of it than who disapprove of it. But as it stands, it's only a 30-day trial thing, and for more than 30 days, he would have to go through Congress. And they're suing Donald Trump in the District of Columbia to try to stop the federalization. So they are pushing back. So that's new. I think that happened today, where they actually filed paperwork to get an injunction from a court here in D.C. to stop Trump's ability to disperse law enforcement personnel and the National Guard or what have you here in the District of Columbia without going through the mayor. All right. Now, let's go to this clip. Let's continue the conversation because this is an important point I wanted to share.
We all, listen, to all my homies, man, everybody in D.C., man, listen, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but check this out. Man, they got the National Guards, they got DEA, the FBI, Park Police, Capitol Police, D.C. Police, all working together. Trump got these niggas on a mission. So what I'm saying to y'all is now ain't the time in my city, in D.C., I don't know about nobody else. He ain't do that nowhere else. But it's a state of emergency in my city. So all I'm saying to you is now ain't the time to be riding around with guns and drinking and smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Now ain't the time, bro. This ain't these next 30 days is gonna show a lot of shit for niggas, man. And that's because it's like this because the youngest keep tipping, bro. We can't go nowhere without them niggas. We can't go nowhere without them niggas fucking it up. 9 or 10 of them, they robbing motherfuckers, shooting motherfuckers. And you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers get tired of that shit, man.
And see, and I think we're gonna have to stop it just because of the language, man. Damn, Johnson. Okay, because I went too far. I got too much in this segment to lose all my monetization because this guy gotta do all that. But we understand where it's coming from, right? And look, guys, I know he's talking, but I got to give him this, man.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
What is wrong with us as grown-ass black men that we cannot be one way? And what I mean by that is, why can't we be honest and be real and say, you know what? Don't break the law. Is that the wrong with saying don't do this shit? There's nothing wrong. It's like he could not say, hey, guys, drinking and driving is wrong. People die because of that. It's one of the number one killers in the country. It's people driving and drinking and killing people. But he had to be like, look, right now is not a good time to be drinking and driving. Mofo, it's never a good time to be drinking and driving. Just because you did it, just because everybody's done it, doesn't mean it's something you should be like, it's okay other times. It's just not good now, because now you might go to jail. But here's the problem with that, sir, who looks like he's about my age. Man, people die anytime behind that. So you think it's okay to risk other people's lives any other time because that person might not get locked up for it, he might not get caught? But it's okay to put everybody's life at risk. He's talking about, and it's okay to carry guns and drugs, smoke weed and drink and guns in your car. You think that's okay to do? It's never okay to do. And forget, say you don't hit nobody. What about when you do get caught and your life is forever perpetually changed? And now you got this thing you got to deal with. And maybe you get some time, maybe you don't. Maybe just get a record. And now you got to deal with that your entire life. What I'm trying to say is, man, I want to wake all brothers up. Brothers over 35, act like you over 35. Stop giving horrible information. Stop trying to be cool. You middle-aged, fam. I'm almost in the dirt. You're middle-aged. If you're over 35, you're middle-aged, Johnson. You'll be lucky to see 70. So, hey, how about acting like it? How about giving sound advice? How about telling young people don't do that shit? How about saying don't do it at all? Not just because the DA out here, the feds out here, because your mothers out here, your sisters out here, your kids out here. Innocent people are out here going to work. Kids are crossing the street, maybe just because of that, or maybe because you care about their future. You care about that young black man's future, that young black woman's future. You don't want that to be harder than it needs to be because they made a horrible choice back in 2025. It'll be horrible. The ramifications for your actions can last you the rest of your entire life, which may not even be that long if you make the real wrong decisions. I think it's very punkish that in order to try to fit in, even at the age of look like 45, that guy can't say, don't do this because it's wrong to do, it's stupid to do, it's reckless to do, it's a bad look. But instead, he got to preface it with, them feds out here. You don't want to get jacked up, man, so just don't do it right now. We ain't better than that. We're not older than that. You know, people talk a lot about, oh man, one of the problems the black community has, one of the problems we have is lack of men in the household. Nah, man, look, let me tell you something. That ain't the real problem. The problem is the right type of influence in the household, because you can have people in your household. They could be dumb like dude who want to live up to something in a rap song or some shit, even at his late age, giving horrible advice, just because he was able to survive. Well, you know what? The people that you're talking to, the young people you're talking to, might not be as lucky as you. They might not be as fortunate as you. So that's why I gave his ass the BS detector. He got the BS detector, fam, because or a gump. That's DC for you. A gump or a lame. Instead of being a grown-ass man giving out good information. And that's shameful, man. We need to make that uncool. Yeah, we need to make that the real gump. A grown-ass man is still so focused on projecting a certain image that he would give out horrible advice to the same people he say he care about. Make it make sense, fam. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I think y'all know where I'm coming from. All right. As you know, this show airs, or live stream Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's our new days, 4 days a week. We got one more story. I just want to give a big shout out to my people that are holding it down We got one more topic we're going to get to, then we're out of here. Give it up for my moderators, Black Mamba, Buck Bewley, and the amazing Ebony. I don't see them, but they were here. But I just want to give them love, man. Give them love. Can we go to the last story, y'all? They got a little gas left in the tank. Can we do one more? It's going to be quick. All right, check it out.
Already. These two. Listen, if you got certain motions.
Detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
Ahead, the same are the exact same qualities you have in this young generation of people between 20 and 30 years old. They're the exact same people. They volunteer. In fact, they volunteer for the military. Most of the guys in World II will admit they were draftees. There were some volunteers, particularly early on, mainly draftees. These are volunteers. The new greatest generation we have is that younger generation. And what do? The system goes out of its way to say you're not important, to say you're just trash and garbage, to say, yeah, just go back and live with your mom and dad. And these are people that have college degrees. These are the folks that have done everything we've told them they have to do to be successful. Why? Because the big tech oligarchs, the corporatists, Wall Street want cheaper labor.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Yeah, man, I want to point this out to Steve Bannon, formerly Trump's guy, right? He was making the point that that working class white men have suffered under the current regime of things, the way things are run in this country. He calls it liberalism, globalism, that they're being displaced. They're being displaced by not just, immigrants coming in and migrant workers, so to speak, but also by the H-1B visas. And that these men can't find meaningful work that, puts them in the right position. And it's like, I feel like that's, he's not making it a racial issue, so to speak, which is an element of what I'm mentioning when I say it as well, because when given an opportunity, based on our racial history in America, whether consciously or subconsciously, sometimes, too often, people choose a person of lighter complexion, regardless to the aptitude, for whatever stereotypes they have in their head about that group of people. But that's not what Steve Bannon's on. Steve Bannon's on the fact that, they can hire someone for a cheaper pay. He's on that side of the equation. And I don't think he's wrong either. In fact, that's part of the argument that I make. It's just I go a step further with my argument. Yeah, I go a step further because I start adding in the racial component. But he's saying just on a financial basis, these corporations benefit from having these workers that they can exploit, for lack of a better term. And then what about those men and women, particularly men here, because I don't know about the women's statistics, but the men who don't get these opportunities? What does that mean for their lives? What does that mean for their resiliency? What does that mean for their future outlook, their prospects, their mental health? All types of mental health issues concerning white men, something he was pointing at. So this becomes a longer, broader conversation. So what I'm saying is, just as I'm pointing out to Black Americans on a regular basis how the immigration issue is front and center, and there are people that, even me, are saying, oh man, I must be a racist towards Latino Americans, as if they're the only people that ever come to this country. But it's like, this is the same go-to they use against me. They use against Steve Bannon. They say, oh, he must not like Pakistanis or people from Latin America or people from the Middle East or whoever, whatever, or people from Japan or, anybody comes over on an H-1B visa. He must be racial. That's why he's saying it. But the numbers bear it out that there is an impact on the workers base. The worker base is an impact on young people being able to buy their first home, buy their first car, that we have not seen before in America. There is numbers and data to back up the claims that he's making. So there it is. I just thought I pointed out that we have some similar issues and this globalist agenda doesn't care about us. It doesn't, like I said, man, I've been telling people, look, man, if you think you got a party, you need to check and make sure you do. Yeah, I know there's a lot of channels out there, and there's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of influencers. A lot of them are getting paid money, man. They're getting paid under the table. The Tim Black Show is not collecting money from any entities that serve any types of parties or any of that nonsense. None of that is happening. People that fund this show are viewers of the show like you, right? But believe this, man. They have an incentive. Corporations have an incentive to want to keep the narrative that even having these conversations is racist, xenophobic. Why? Because it benefits their bottom line to be able to hire people at a lower wage. The cost of labor. It drives the cost of labor down, and they love that. They love it. We got all this, and look, it don't even make sense. We got a country with you. How many businesses are registered in Delaware just because they avoid the tax implications? Just because it's better financially to register in Delaware. That's how people do it. All over the country, people got P.O. boxes or street addresses, virtual street addresses in Delaware, because it's advantageous from a financial perspective to register your LLC or your corporation, S Corp, C Corp, in Delaware. Well, it's advantageous. If you need a computer tech to get one from another country, get somebody to come over here and sponsor them, they can't just leave. You basically are what keeps them in the country. They can't just throw themselves on the market. Someone's got to sponsor them. So you basically got yourself an indentured servant to a certain degree. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's on that street. Because anytime you can't freely move and go and put yourself on the market and go to the highest bidder and take home the most money you can to your family, anytime that can't be your only concern, you have to worry about a whole different concern, like getting caught by slave patrols. Hello. I'm not clarifying. I'm not trying to make the two the same. It ain't the same. There's nothing like what Black Americans went through. But you feel me what I'm saying, because you're an adult. You ain't just trying to do a gotcha moment. You know what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is, it would be an amazing thing if we could somehow team up and get on the same page about this globalism garbage. Would be amazing. Maybe one day we will be able to. Maybe that'll have to be the day when some of these clowns can stop picking up money from right-wing organizations and corporations who get to throw a bunch of garbage in the game in order to lie to the public and spread propaganda and play on people's fears instead of spitting the truth. All right, Johnson, look, man, I had a great time. Thank you for being here. It's my pleasure to do this show. Thank you for letting me do what I feel I'm good at doing. I got a knack for doing this. Thank you for letting a brother be in his stride. That's because of y'all, Johnson, tuning into this show 4 days a week right here. Don't forget, become a member. Get first access to all my free content and my ebooks and other collectible stuff that's going to make you fortified and give you information. So when you get into these conversations, when you're around family, when you're around friends, when you're online, you're getting cornered. You got a reservoir of information you can go to, like a Swiss Army knife, and pick the lock. That's what we get you here. Right here on the Tim Black Show, Johnson. Let's go to comments, man. My people, my people, my people. The real issues are not being addressed with this administration. No way, Johnson. No way. You're right. They're about to be lonely with a hard L. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to take it. You got it, fam. Ebony always has been, but deportation immediately. I don't know what that is, but these are my people, Johnson. The problem is still with the system, Black Rose. The elitists have caused everyone damage. I agree, Johnson. I agree. This is why Kamala 50,000 for some home ownership was a nothing river, because many will be left out. Obviously, absolutely, absolutely. Our own elected officials are the ones who are working against the American citizen. Yeah, ain't that something? They fighting hard too, man. And so is a lot of our corporate media and even some of our independent media. Because they need propaganda on the independent media side of the game too. It's shameful. D. Harris in the building. What's up, D? Vicky Lamb says, I'm drinking my wine and enjoying the Tim Black Show. Man, that's a commercial right there. I'm drinking my wine and enjoying the Tim Black Show. You need to go ahead and record that. You need to record that and send that in so I can use that as in my promotional package for the Tim Black Show, man. That's amazing. Y'all funny, man. Hey, look, I would just put all the comments up. I would put it all up. All the tactical expertise, and all they can do is stop and frisk. Divine Feminine in the building. DeAndre in the building. What up, D? Yo, man. The Boondocks came back, right? Man, I need to check out the new Boondocks. Is the new Boondocks as good as the old Boondocks? Anybody know if the new Boondocks is hitting? Let me know, fam. Let me know. One more time, man. Anybody out here, hip-hop fan? Go check out the Shannon Sharpe interview with the one and only Scarface. It's an amazing watch, man. I'm going to finish watching it over the weekend. Shout out to Shannon Sharpe. Shout out to Face Mob. Feel the hand of the dead body. My brother. Man, I wish I could do my show like this. It's probably where I need to have my voice at for the Tim Black Show. You know what I'm saying? I was down here talking in this register. We'd be able to get people more focused on the content. I wish I could, man. I got to move all around. I'm all over the place. Yes. I'm done, man. That's it. Have a great weekend. Remember, like we always say, don't let nobody, don't let anybody, that's it. Don't you let anybody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread. You better keep your cornbread. Let these fools take your cornbread out here. Before I go, Johnson, y'all ain't done with me yet. Y'all not done with me, man. Shout out to my girls. Yeah, man. Shout out to my girls. Tonight is dedicated to all the black women out there in America. All the black American women. Where my ladies at? Where are my ladies? Here go my babies, y'all. You know what it is. Be safe. Have a safe, happy, enjoyable weekend. I see you here on Sunday. We'll be back. Shout out to the Wolfpack. I love y'all. Out.